我们开幕典礼会请吴院长，我们的营主任吴院长，跟大家介绍我们这个科学营主轴吴大猷先生的生平。那吴院长的介绍结束以后呢，会有一个10分钟的简短的影片，具体的描述吴院长这一生的行仪。接下来就是杨泮池校长的专题演讲。那在这边要特别提醒大家，时间比较紧张一点，也就是杨校长演讲结束呢，我们就动作快，到楼梯口排好了队，我们照一张团体照，也抓紧时间，因为现在天气还可以，没有下雨。昨天晚上我们的 placement test 结束之后，在走回到工作人员开了个会议以后，走回到宿舍的过程中，看到了难得的西头晴朗的夜空，竟然看得到银河。昨天晚上看得到银河的，请举手。看得到银河的，怎么都是后面的工作同仁啊？你们走得太早了，你们走的 I have to say， 你们走得太早了。但是不管怎么样，这种天气是很难得的，在台风前缘会有好天气。It always 在台风前缘会有好天气，但我们希望台风还是不要来。开幕典礼，我们现在请营主任吴成文院长上台致辞，我们欢迎吴院长。
I hope that you all have very nice rest last night. For me, not so wonderful. I'm here with my stick because I had an operation, spinal operation. That's a big operation about 2 months ago. Since then, it's very painful. Every day, I have to take painkiller, the strongest painkiller. I think some of doctors here know it's called tramadol. That's a morphine derivative. I have to take 4 tablets a day. I cannot miss one. Okay. And in the evening, before sleep, I have to take sleeping pill. Well, it's all right, control my life all right. But last night, for some reason, strange reason, took a wrong sleeping pill. I went to bed about 11. I was supposed to get up 6 o'clock this morning. But my alarm clock rang 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep since then. So today, well, I feel a little bit dizzy. My blood pressure is high. I took some blood pressure pills too. So, if I say something stupid, please forgive me. Last night, before say that, even with all those conditions, I'm still very excited to be here. I'll be here every day, and I'm still extremely excited, particularly seeing so many students, very bright. Year by year, they're better and better. Last night, we meet and we have a welcome party, and we introduce ourselves, and we miss some of you. And we take turns, and when it came to turns of my CEO, Dr. Peng, he suddenly changed his mind. He said, let me introduce not himself, but Wu Dayu Foundation and the science camp. That's what I was going to say today. So he said it all. So today, only I can do is change the language. He used Chinese, I use English. Okay, let's start. Do we have a pointer? Well, welcome to the 18th or 2019. See, I start to confuse already. Wu Dayu Science Camp. The science camp was organized by Wu Dayu Foundation, and they co-organized, including Academia Sinica, the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Science and Technology, the TSMC Education and Cultural Foundation, National Museum of Natural Science, that's Dr. Science, and the NTU Experimental Forest, that's where we are today. Wu Dayu Foundation holds the science camp every summer. There are two central themes taking times each year: physical sciences, including astronomy, physics, and chemistry, and life sciences, including biology and medicine. Well, our students are all elite senior undergraduate students from college, selected from Taiwan, mainland China, Hong Kong, and Macau. And we invited about 10, 12 distinguished scientists. We call them in Chinese 大师. The students interact with distinguished research scientists invited from around the world in the camp for the purpose of understanding of the current status of advanced research field and the passage of research experiences from person to person, and the interaction among the students from all the above areas are highly encouraged. Through the careful design of courses, also through the interactions with the distinguished scientists face to face, the student would learn if they could take scientific research as a lifelong career and to figure out which field they could fit in best in the future. Well, the central theme of this year's science camp is precision health and the future of medicine. Okay, it's a little bit from precision medicine. Well, as the chairman of the board, I was assigned to be the camp director, and Dr. Yuan Li, the Nobel Prize from Taiwan, was our honorary committee chair. And the academic chair, the academic committee, we are very honored and pleased that Dr.杨泮池agreed to serve. So he spent a lot of time organizing the whole program. And besides, we have several important committee members. As I introduced yesterday, Dr. Peng Zhongming, in charge of our financial affairs, Dr. Li Jingguo, the student affairs, and Dr. Shen Weixin is the conductor of our orchestra. And you'll see that pretty soon. And we also have Dr. Li Jiawei, who is not here, but I'm pretty sure he will have very important assignment in the near future. This year we have a total of 107 students. 74 are from Taiwan colleges. And we have a high school teacher in order to prepare the high school students to enter this camp when they go to college. We have 25 from mainland China, we are very pleased, and 5 from Hong Kong, 2 from Macau. I think it's time for me to introduce to you the lifetime story of wonderful Dr. Wu Dayu. He was born in Guangzhou, China in 1907 and entered the physics department of the famous Nankai University in China. He obtained BS degree in 1929 and stayed as a lecturer at Macau University. In 1931, he received a scholarship from one of the foundations in China and went to the United States to attend University of Michigan. In only 1 year, he got a master's degree. In only another year, he received a PhD. So this not only break, but still maintain the historical historical record of University of Michigan. Well, the war between Japan and China erupted. So in 1934, he immediately made a decision to come back from US to China to serve as a faculty of Peking University. At that time, the Japanese coming from the north, and so many universities in the north ran away. And they formed a university called the Southwest Associate University in Kunming, Sichuan. And Dr.杨泮池joined that university in 1938. And during this period, from 41 to 45, he taught classical mechanics to a group of senior students, including杨泮池and Li Zhengdao, who jointly won 1957 Nobel Prize in Physics. In 1947, he went to the United States again to teach at Columbia University. And later, he moved to Canada to serve as chairman of the physics department at the National Research Council in Canada. In 1948, he was among the first to be elected as a member or academician of Academia Sinica. A few years later, in 1957, he was elected as a member of Canadian Royal Society. Well, in 50s and 60s, there's a lot of war going on during the Second World War. And he traveled very frequently between North America and Taiwan to help Taiwan develop science. Finally, in 1967, he settled down in Taiwan. He served as a minister of the National Science Council in 1967 and the chairman of Scientific Education Advisory Committee and Minister of Education in Taiwan. In 1983, he was elected president of Academia Sinica. He served until 1994. He retired from the presidency, and in that year, he was awarded the National Medal for Outstanding Contribution to Taiwan's Science Development. In 1998, he received a famous international award, the Henry Ford Life Achievement Award. Sadly, in year 2000, he passed away in Taipei, Taiwan. Dr. Wu Dayu has tremendous scientific contributions. He had taught and inspired a number of famous physicists, such as the Nobel laureate杨泮池, which I just mentioned. Dr. Wu had been pioneer of science development in Taiwan since his middle age, I also just mentioned, and as once the chairperson of National Science Council and the Science Education Advisory Committee under Ministry of Education. He orchestrated many important science policies which have helped Taiwan in research, education, and the technology development. During his term as president of Academia Sinica, he has helped establish the Institute of Biomedical Sciences and the Institute of Molecular Biology, the two important institutes in Academia Sinica, promoting life science research with great strength. Through his life, Dr. Wu had made an enormous impact on the development of modern physics in China as well as in Taiwan. Hence, many people regarded him as the father of contemporary Chinese physics. After he passed away, of course, we are all very sad. In memory of him, the Wu Dayu Foundation was established to follow Dr. Wu Dayu's footsteps and to continue promoting science education and research in Taiwan and across the strait. Well, actually, there are 4 major activities of the Wu Dayu Foundation. The first one is that we have Wu Dayu Memorial Hall in Institute of Physics, Academia Sinica, established by Dr. Li Jingguo. And we have a Wu Dayu Science Camp, where what we are doing today. Every 2 years, we review about 200 popular science books in Chinese language. And out of this, we selected about 10 and give them awards. And this became one of the most prestigious awards in this area. Besides, we have a Wu Dayu Science Lecture Salon. We established a room in Library of Taipei City. There, we display his publications, his furniture, the material he used every day. And in addition, every week, we have a popular science lecture given by famous scientists in Taiwan and abroad, and particularly those receive the Wu Dayu Popular Science Book Award. Well, I must take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to our distinguished invited speakers. Dr. Masanori Fukushima, who is there. Could you stand up? from Translational Research Center for Medical Innovation and the Foundation of Biomedical Research of Innovation at Kobe in Japan. Dr. Mark Seierstadt here from Institute of Human Genetics, University of California, San Francisco, USA. We missed him last night. He was too tired, I was told. And Dr. Shi Yu from University Medical Center of Vanderbilt University in USA. Well, we have Professor Chen Jianren from Genomic Research Center of Academia Sinica. And I think everyone will know, you know him. He's the Vice President of Republic of China here in Taiwan. We have Dr. Ho Mingqi, President of China Medical University. He just returned from MD Anderson Cancer Center. It's the best cancer center in the US, but he claimed it's the best in the world. We have Professor杨泮池from National Taiwan University. I just introduced him. I don't have to say much again. We have Professor Li Bozhang. He's the Director of National Health Insurance Administration, Ministry of Health and Welfare in Taiwan. And today, I expect, or this time, he's expected to answer important questions about the national health insurance. Will it sustain? That's, I told him this morning. Mr. Lin Baili, Barry Lam, well, he's an industrialist and head of Quanta Computer INC, and he's a pioneer in AI and precision medicine in Taiwan. We have Dr. Guo Dayu, is here? Not yet. He's from Department of Computer Science and Information Engineering, and he was former president of National Taiwan University, and heard that recently he moved to Hong Kong on leave, right? Yes. We had Dr. Cai Shifeng. Where are you? Why you went there? All the distinguished guests are here. Come and sit here. Yeah, he's the director of Department of Research Planning and Development in National Health Research Institute, NHI, which I established 20 years ago. And now he's running a big national, what they call, flagship program on the precision medicine. Dr. Xie Dabing is the Vice Minister of Ministry of Science and Technology in Taiwan. Where are you? He's coming. He's coming. He's not here yet. Okay. Well, I also must mention my deep gratitude to our staff teams, including our Secretary General and two executive officers, Song Weixin, Li Jingguo, and a group of long-list staff members headed by our secretary in the foundation. And the name is too long for me to mention every one of them. But I would say without their effort and dedication, we won't have such a nice science camp today. Well, lastly, I want to show you a few pictures. This is Dr. Wu Dayu. We call him a gardener that never retires. And as you can see, he's energetic, serious, and intelligent scientist, even at the age of about 90. This is a different view of him. Doesn't he look like a kindly, lovable grandfather? The last one was the one I took with him in 1988. He invited me back from the United States to establish the Institute of Biomedical Sciences. And I have the fortune, great fortune, to work with him closely for 5 years. And I really admire him. I learned a lot from him, and he's my lifetime model. Okay, with this, I'll stop. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's thank Dr. Wu Chengwen for his introduction of the camp and also the foundation. And we will play a video, a short video of the life of Dr. Wu Dayu for everyone to know him further. And the video will be in Chinese, and the English version is in the form of a CD, which is placed in the envelope for our foreign speakers. Okay.
值此十分兴奋，也是该深深自我反省的时候。我要向您表示由衷的谢意。为了您在1942年引导我进入了对称原理与群论的这个领域，我以后工作的大部分，包括关于宇称的工作，都直接或间接地和在15年前的那个春天从您那里学到的概念有关。这是多年来我一直想要告诉您的情意。今天或许是最好的时刻。这是杨振宁先生在1957年10月31日刚接到电话，知道他和李政道先生获得了诺贝尔奖，随即提笔写下来给吴大猷先生的一封信。而李政道先生在知道获奖后，也同样的立刻写了一封情意真挚的信给吴先生，表示深刻的感激之意。两位曾经亲至门下的得意弟子同时获得诺贝尔奖，在别人眼里应该是极为荣耀的成就了。但在那时，吴先生对近代中国的科学发展所将会产生的影响和贡献才刚要开始。
在最艰苦困顿的抗战时期，把近代物理的观念和知识引入中国，教导过的学生遍布天下。这些学生如今在海峡两岸和世界各地都肩负着科学发展的重任，嫉恶如仇，耿直敢言，从小到老始终如一。这就是吴大猷先生。西元1907年，吴大猷先生出生于广州市。5岁那年，吴先生的父亲就去世了，由寡母教养成人。小学毕业之后， 吴先生去了天津，从南开中学到南开大学，毕业之后赴美，到密西根大学修习博士学位。然而，密西根大学研究院的基本课程，吴先生在南开不但早就念过，而且还教过，所以1年之后他就拿到硕士，再1年之后就拿到博士。密西根大学的这个记录到现在为止还没有被打破。再过1年，也就是西元1934年，吴先生自美返国，开始了他此后一甲子往返中外的教学、研究与服务的生涯。吴先生在物理学的研究上有杰出的成就，他一生中总共发表了120篇研究论文，研究领域十分广泛，如最重元素的低能态预测了比铀重的元素的存在。另外，如多原子分子之结构及其振动光谱，以及量子散射理论等研究结果，都在个别的领域中做出了重要的贡献。而吴先生于70年代又以中文写成了《理论物理专书6册》，成为今日海峡两岸大学生和研究生研习物理的重要参考书。从40年代中期开始，吴先生长期在美国教学和研究，但他却从来没有忘情台湾。在前后20年的时间里，吴先生只要有空就会回到台湾，轮流在各大学访问授课，更协助中研院建立了物理研究所。而在1967年，吴先生终于束装返国，担任科导会和国科会的主任委员，开始真正的为国内科学教育和政策制定做扎根和起头的工作。1983年，吴先生接掌中央研究院院长，持续推动前后2期的5年计划，使得中研院的研究领域大幅扩充，涵盖了台湾史、中国文哲、生命科学以及天文物理等新的方向。吴先生不仅是一位优秀的科学家，还是一位卓越的教育家。在他70年的学术生涯中，从没有一刻脱离过教育工作。在国内，他在台湾大学、清华大学和交通大学都担任过讲座课程。吴先生对教学十分认真负责，授课内容深入浅出。无论是盛夏或寒冬，无论台下的听众是诺贝尔奖得主，还是初试物理浑浑噩噩的大学部低年级生，吴先生敬业的程度是一样的。70年的辛勤所累积下来的人才，如今正在海峡两岸和世界各地为科学和教育而努力。在吴先生长长的一生中，除了研究、教学和行政之外，就是对人对事的谏言了。无论是亲戚、朋友、同事、学生，甚至政府当局，只要吴先生觉得分所当言，必定毫不迟疑地提出直率而诚挚的谏言。尤其对优秀的年轻后辈，提携教诲，不遗余力，常常不管别人是否觉得不好意思。耿直坦率的风格，在重视诺诺的大环境里格外显得特殊。最著名的例子是在1968年，他本着自己的社会良心，劝阻了当局不要进行新竹计划。这个计划也就是研究核分裂，最终制造原子弹的计划。吴先生坚持了读书人有所为有所不为的精神，也使得台湾没有陷入发展原子弹的国际竞争中。不单如此，在60年代中期，出国留学的风气十分蓬勃，然而学成回国服务的人却不多，所以有党政官员建议要禁止大学毕业生出国。 对于这种做法，吴先生齐齐以为不可，所以立即上书总统，强调人才虽然处于异邦，但他日仍然可以为国所用。这番敢言直谏影响深远，奠定了台湾后来科学发展的基础。的确，从70年代到90年代，在吴先生和李远哲先生等人的号召之下，自海外被延揽回国服务的科学家不计其数，他们加入台湾科学发展的阵容，共同为国效力。今日台湾科学发展有如此规模与基础，吴先生居功厥伟。
虽然教出的学生得了诺贝尔奖，自己的学术成就也享誉国际，但是吴先生仍然保持一贯的谦虚。1957年12月，在接到了杨先生获奖时写来的信之后，吴先生也回了一封信：亲爱的杨，接到了您言辞恳切的信，让我欣喜之余，也不免惭愧。虽然我毫不怀疑您信中真挚的情谊，但我却不认为我对您在物理上的知识与成就有过什么明显的功劳，尤其是在群论这一方面。但是无可讳言的，我觉得十分骄傲，因为机缘巧遇，使得我曾经教过您。然而我真正的满足和自豪，来自于15年前，我在您和李政道先生身上就已经看到了两位的潜力。
也就是和自己的学生推诚相待，所以吴先生也受着学生一生的敬重。就如同李政道先生，即使顶着诺贝尔奖得主的光环，在吴先生晚年卧病时，仍然常常陪侍在旁，协助照料生活起居，甚至亲手推着轮椅陪着吴先生访问大陆，畅游故都。谦虚待人而不居功，认真治学而不虚假，是吴先生一贯的态度。许多和吴先生有过往还的门生故旧，应该都会记得，吴先生在他的3合1的房间里畅论科学，评议国事。吴先生一生不置产业，只是把科导会的办公室改装成为书房、卧室和会客室的3合1房间。在这个简单朴实的房间中所酝酿出来的想法和著作，却对近代中国的科学发展产生了深远的影响。
吴先生的一生凝结成了一部内容丰富的书，书中是近代中国科学发展一步一脚印的艰辛历程。而在书的扉页上是这样写的：他是一个永不退休的园丁，栽培每一株科学的花朵，无悔地在生命中实践、付出。
好的，这就是我们在过去这些年来综整了吴先生一生令人怀念的地方，做了一个 CD 片。虽然说我们对 CD 片内容无比熟悉，可是每次在看这个影片，还是充满了无限的感动。当然里面写到他台下的听讲者，他认真讲课，无论听讲者是诺贝尔奖得主也好，你们都知道是谁了，或者是浑浑噩噩初识物理的大学生，那是我们。我们有幸在大3那一年的下学期，吴先生到台大物理系来开理论物理的课。当时我记得他矮胖的身躯在讲台上挥汗如雨的在黑板上写下物理理论来。我们底下这些学生坐在那边真的是爱听不听的。台大物理，现在回头想想都觉得好惭愧。后来从美国回到了台湾做事情，去到了吴先生的3合1的房间。3合1是哪3合1？书房、卧室跟会客室，床就在旁边。一生不置产业，这份节操情操，现在有谁能做得到？ 只是为了要做自己喜欢的研究跟教育的工作。常常我们的家人会叫我过去来看看电视上吴先生又在骂人，又在骂你们这学物理的。他对人的指责是毫不留情的，但是敢言实践是我们很难得看到的伟大的风范。好，那我们的开幕典礼到这边告一段落。各位，我相信未来都会拿到 CD 片，希望大家有空常常看一下吴先生的生平是怎么样的一个人，真的值得我们敬佩。那我们现在就请吴成文院长来主持杨泮池校长的第一个专题演讲。
It's a great honor and pleasure for me to chair or as a convener of the first plenary lecture from our distinguished scientist, Dr.杨泮池. And I think that you all know, many of you know, that he's my student. He's my first PhD student after I came back to Taiwan for 30 years. But I must add that I have a teaching student over 100 in the last 50, 60 years, and he's the best. He's the best in 3 areas. He's the best clinician. At the age of about 40, he is appointed as chairman of the Department of Medicine, which is the most important department in the big hospital. Okay. And second, you all know that he is elected as the academician or member of Academia Sinica. The unique thing is that almost all the academicians are educated or partially trained in the US. He's completed in Taiwan. So in the ceremony, Yuan Li mentioned that he's an academician MIT. The MIT, made in Taiwan academician. And thirdly, in clinic, as I mentioned, the clinic. Thirdly, you all know in administration, he's an excellent administrator. You know that he's elected as a president of National Taiwan University, the best university in Taiwan. In my life, in medicine, I think not only I really see any physician excel in all 3 major areas. And he's one of the few. Well, I can go on to talk about his accomplishment, but it is a lecture, so I can cut it short. Just saying that he organized this, and you may notice that the title is from precision medicine to precision health. I think that many people ask me, well, what's the difference? I said, just be patient. Wait till杨泮池came up to stage and you can listen to him. Okay, let's all give a big applause to welcome Professor杨泮池.
Hi, okay, thanks. Good morning, everyone. So, thank you for joining the U Dayo Foundation Summer Camp, and especially the honorable guests. Thank you for coming far away, especially from the state, from Japan, to join this camp, to give a talk, and this very wonderful event. So my title today is trying to explain why we need to move from precision medicine to precision healthcare. So I will start with this slides. This is the survey in 2014. The survey is done by HSBC. is looking at the affordability and quality of healthcare. Why I chose 2014? Because after 2014, there was no such survey. So this is the most recent, this kind of survey. You can find that based on the affordability and quality, Taiwan ranked #1. That's because we started national health insurance since 1995. If anyone asks me, what is the most important driving force to maintain the balance of the society in Taiwan, I would say our national health insurance. So today we are very happy that we have the Director General of the National Health Insurance, that's Professor D. Let's give him a big applause. See here, Japan's here, and United States here. In some medical centers, they have very good quality, but if you compare, you consider the affordability of the society, Taiwan ranked #1. Okay. So my talk today would focus on the advance in omics technology and how they impact the precision medicine, and then talk a little bit about the natural history of disease progression. And then I would use lung cancer example, show you how the what are the impact of the precision medicine, how we implement the precision medicine in Taiwan, and what are the impact on the health, especially the lung cancer patient care. And then I'll talk a little bit on the precision medicine versus precision health. And I would discuss a little bit that actually most of our education now is not training the supreme healer, just train the 下医医病。其实我们应该照我们2000多年前我们的前辈跟我们讲的，我们的祖先跟我们讲，上医要医未病 ，the supreme healer should cure the disease before it occurs. Okay, and then I'll introduce the personal genome and the risk prediction, Taiwan precision medicine initiative, and how to embrace the new era of precision health. So this is the, show the first slide. This is the sequencing gel I done in my PhD when I was a PhD student of Ken. We need to do a lot of this kind of sequence gel and then read carefully the sequence and map to the data, what kind of genetic change you have identified. So this is the gel done by myself. And now all the sequence can be, we have second generation sequencing machine, a third generation sequencing machine, and especially the third generation one, we call it next generation sequencing. Now actually they use the so-called chip. Taiwan make a very big contribution to the chip sequencer. So make the sequencing very cheap, very easily. They can download a very high throughput sequencing in a very short time. So make the sequencing very cheap now. And what are the future of the sequencing technology? Now it's possible that you can do sequence using your laptop. I'll show the video. Now it's possible. So actually every student is able to have a sequencing machine that adapt to your laptop. You can do your sequence for any organism, for any biology, or for any material you want to sequence. So it's possible. I'm sure that in, I think, next 4 or 5 years, you can have this kind of machine. So basically, the semiconductor that was used for DNA sequencing, they use this so-called CMOS. CMOS is a complementary metal oxide type semiconductor sensing device. That most of this kind of device, CMOS sequencer, actually are manufacturing in Taiwan, in Hsinchu. So you never know that. So we contribute quite a lot to the rapid development of this kind of sequencing technology. Actually, the sequencing, most of them did, especially the most updated one, they use sequencing by synthesis. Every nucleotide, they bind to the template. They will release a hydrogen ion and convert to a current. And by measuring the current, you know what kind of nucleotide actually adapt to this this template. So you know the sequence. Because A, T, C, G, the 4 nucleotides, they create different current. So it's easy that you can read that. So this is a Taiwan contribution to the next generation sequencing. Nearly 1/4 of the semiconductors are done in Taiwan, manufactured in Taiwan, and 20% of the sequencing chip are made in Taiwan. You know, the #1 sequencing company is called Illumina. The Illumina sequencing chip is manufacturing in Hsinchu in Taiwan. Okay, because of the advances, this kind of sequencing technology, now it's possible. Use only about $1,000 US, you are able to sequence the whole genome. So it becomes very, very easy. So you can do the whole genome sequencing, use a very cheap price. So you can see it's from nearly, you need $1 million, now you go down to $1,000 US. So it's easy. You want to sequence your whole genome, $1,000 US, 3万块, you can do it. But now the problem comes because you get so many, so huge data. Now you need many bioinformatics experts to help you to analyze this data, to make this data meaningful, to make this data useful, how to interpret the disease, how to identify the target, how to identify marker for disease risk, for target therapy to treat specific disease. So the sequencer, very big one, we can come down to laptop. They can use a very small material, read more, very increase the throughput, decrease the turnaround time, and most importantly, increase the accuracy. The most recent, the Illumina announced the i6-100. It's very cheap. The cost is only, the machine is only less than $20,000 US for a sequencer machine. So it's easy to acquire one. And for every sample, it takes only $25 US. So it's very cheap. They use the CMOS sensor. And this is the sequencing by a laptop. I used video to introduce that. Please help me. Okay.
Oxford Nanopore Technologies has developed the first portable device for DNA and RNA analysis. The MinION is being used in traditional labs, but has also been used in challenging environments such as the Arctic, mountains, under the sea, and in space. It has been used to analyze samples as small as a virus or as large as a whole human genome. The MinION uses nanopore sensing technology. It has been designed for users who want a simple, fast, plug-and-play device that can be used in a lab, but is not confined to one. The MinION is powered by a USB connection to a laptop. Inside the MinION device is a consumable flow cell to which the analyte is added. The flow cell contains the sensor array for detecting the characteristic nanopore signal as the molecule is analysed. The MinION is easy to install and use. Having installed instrument control and data analysis software, a sequencing library is prepared with an easy-to-use kit from Oxford Nanopore and loaded into the MinION flow cell. The library flows across the surface of the sensor array and sequencing begins. The nanopore signal is processed by MinO, the instrument control software. This software carries out several core data tasks and can be used to change experimental workflows or parameters. The user receives real-time feedback of key metrics such as sample quality and number of events. Analyses can start immediately and continue until sufficient data has been generated. The system may be active for minutes or days rather than being controlled by an arbitrary runtime, giving flexibility and efficiency. For some applications, there are end-to-end analysis workflows such as "What's in my pot?" The user can run a single sample with the ability to reload that sample until sufficient data is generated. It also offers an option to run multiple samples. Simple to use with minimal library prep, the MinION is the world's first portable DNA sequencing device. It offers ultra-long read lengths, sequencing on demand.
So it's possible. I think every one of you can, it's possible you can own such kind of sequencer. You are interested in biology, you are try to analyze what kind of material you want to analyze, and you can ask any question you want in biology. So this is the future. And I'm sure that you will get that one very soon. Because a lot of Taiwan company actually also participate in developing such kind of lab-type sequencer. Okay, then we talk about switch to the so-called precision medicine. Actually, the traditional medicine, we teach medicine rather use the one-size-fits-all concept that if you got a pneumonia, you should receive antibiotics. No matter what kind of etiology, if you get a community-acquired pneumonia, that we give a penicillin. But they don't consider different person may have different genetic background, and also the drug tolerance and some side effects may occur from the different pharmacogenetic. So at that time, we think that this kind of practice is not the state of art. We should move to we should switch to the one-size-fits-all to precision medicine. Based on you should stratify the patient based on their genetic background, what kind of etiology, their demographic data, and also clinical information. Based on that, and you can give them the most accurate diagnosis and intervene the disease and give the right drug to the right patient at the right time with the right dose, and also try to reduce the side effect. So this is the so-called precision medicine. Obama announced the precision medicine in the early of the 2015. And then in 2016, they say that they think that they should move not only for specific disease treatment, but also to cover all the health care. And so they should move to, and all the population should participate in this precision medicine. So they switched the name to so-called All of Us. And in 2016, Biden, the vice president, announced the so-called Cancer Moonshot program. In this Cancer Moonshot program, they will try in a very short time, in the near future, that we are able to solve some of the cancer, cure some of the cancer. Taiwan is very fortunately to join the Cancer Moonshot program, led by Dr. Chen Yuru in Academia Sinica. They will try to focus some endemic cancer in Taiwan and try to identify the specific genetic alterations, identify markers, and find out what kind of etiology associated with this, the endemic cancer in this region, and try to also develop the therapy. They use the genomic, transcriptomic, proteomic, and phosphoproteome to analyze the 3 types of cancer: lung cancer, breast, and colon. They will try to focus on the also prostate cancer, also included in this project. So we also try to push that we are able to use the not only the genomic data, but we are able to use both the RNA, exosome, protein, even the metabolite. And not only that, this kind of genomic medicine or precision medicine can be done only in medical center. We try to push that this kind of new technology can be applied at point of care. That means that if you see a doctor, a private practitioner, they also have this kind of technology. They can assess this kind of biomarker identification, practice the so-called precision medicine, that all the patient can benefit. Not only the patient who go to the big medical center, no need. This is the aim we are trying to move to. So we hope that in the near future, all the patients, they can use this new technology, the new omic technology, and through the cloud computing, and actually they can access all kinds of new technology at point of care, and this new sequencing device or the proteomic, clinical proteomic device, they can help the older clinician. They can diagnose the disease earlier and treat the patient more precisely. So this is what we are aiming to. They can use this kind of machine, very less expensive. They can get the result very quickly. They can use the genomic data, proteomic data to predict the risk prediction and manage the patient very, very precisely. And most importantly, very user-friendly and low cost. So the precision medicine, the market is also growing up and up. Most of them actually focus on the biomarker and also the therapy. However, we look at the current precision medicine. Actually, we are treating the patient, most of the patients who already have symptoms. They have fully manifested illness. Actually, we need to spend more resources and to treat the patient, and the patient already has some kind of organ damage. You want to bring the patient back to normal. It's much more difficult. The current medical education actually is focused on this and this. But we think that we should change the medical education. We should train the supreme healer. They should cure the disease before it occurs. 这是我们现在的医学教育教的都是病人出现的症状，到了医院以后，我们根据这个症状去诊断这个病人，然后给他看说他的风险是怎样，他会进行到哪里，他要用什么药。但是呢，事实上病人出现症状的时候，大部分的器官已经有一些破坏。你要让他回到正常，你要花更多的金钱，花了更多的医师的力量。这是我目前的医学在做的事情。其实我们是应该拉回来往前，你应该诊断更早，病人出现症状很小的时候，你就可以发现出来，甚至还没有出现症状之前，你已经可以知道，你从他的 risk 的 stratification 由 risk 去 identify 哪一些人比较会发生哪一些病。那其实我在医学教育那么久，最希望的是 让我们的医学教育可以走到这里，是我们要培养上医，而不是现在做的都是在培养下医的事情。Sorry, I explain Chinese so they can understand what I say. Okay. So, what are the natural history of the disease progression? Okay, suppose this is the natural history of disease. Start from normal, healthy, and then gradually some disease occur, and they accumulate some damage, and the symptoms become appear. Most of the patient actually go to the doctor when they have symptoms. So at that time, already have some organ damage, and if you let the disease progress, and the disease will progress to the irreversible stage, and you spend more resources, and also the patient will suffer a lot. So so far, the precision medicine actually focuses in this area, monitoring using biomarker monitoring disease, define the personalized therapy, or identify marker for the detection of the disease. So in my concept, actually we think that we should move forward. The precision medicine should move forward to identify the risk before the disease occurs. That's so-called precision health. Make everyone in health condition, prevent the disease to occur. Try to identify the risk, what kind of risk the patient has, and try to modify the lifestyle, modify the disease progression, modify the natural history, let the patient not to develop the disease. So you can treat the disease in an early stage, prevent the disease to occur, and not to treat the disease when they are very, very fully developed. So if you identify the risk, then you can use the gene, the environment, the lifestyle. You can change that and make everyone a better health. So you can consider the precision medicine and precision health just like an iceberg. The precision medicine is on the tip when the disease occurs. But the precision health is under the water and the seawater. So you can see the scope of the precision health is much larger than the precision medicine. And this is what we should do. Not just only focus on the precision medicine, no. Make everyone in a health condition. Don't let anyone move to the stage need precision medicine treat, need the target therapy or chemotherapy or immunotherapy. No, try to prevent disease in an earlier stage before it occurs. Based on that, you can see the personalized nutrition or personalized wellness is the market is even higher, even more. So if you compare to the precision therapeutics, diagnostic, well, try to make one healthy. This is even more important. Then, how to identify the risk of the disease? This is a very this company already exists in the States for more than 10 years. I think more than 10 years. This is the company called 23andMe. How it works? They can actually sequence your personal genome. It's very easy. You use some blood or some cells from your throat or cavity. You can dip the cells to this tube and send to the company. They can give you do the single nucleotide polymorphism studies. They use the sequence chip and give you the risk of some kind of disease, risk of diabetes, risk of cancer, risk of something. And they can also give the information on ancestry compositions and DNA relatives. Okay. I remember I saw a news last year in Christmas because the company give a promotion that you can give a low price, very low price. You can send the sample to 23andMe, and so they create a lot of family problem. 小孩子哦，拿去买这个送妈妈，或者是朋友送他，然后就去检查，结果发现那个，父母亲好像不太对啊。How much it costs? $99 per test. That's very, very cheap. Okay. It's personal genome. Taiwan also initiated precision medicine initiatives as done by the Professor Guo Pei in Academia Sinica. They try to develop the whole genome SNPs, genome-wide association SNP studies in one million population in Taiwan. I try to identify the risk for specific disease in Taiwan because some specific genotypes is associated with disease. So they try to develop the Taiwan reference genome, and based on this reference genome, and compare the clinical record, and hopefully they can identify the some specific SNPs is associated with some common endemic disease in this region. Based on that, because the SNP study, SNP examination is very cheap, they send 1,000 NT dollars. So it's easy that use several chips. You are able to map or identify the risk or predict the risk of some common disease in this region. And they try to focus 1 million population. The program is already ongoing. They can have, I show you some example. This is one published by YT Chen. They actually identify a specific genetic markers. This is associated with a drug so-called carbamazepine or allopurinol. They can, some of the patients, they use this drug to reduce the uric acid and this drug to control the epilepsy, but some of the patients, they will develop very, very severe skin eruptions, and these skin eruptions sometimes fatal. So by identifying this kind of marker, you can prevent the disease to occur. So every patient, every doctor, you want to prescribe this kind of drug, you can do a gene test before you prescribe the drug. Then the patient can avoid this kind of side effect. And the pharmacogenetic is also very important. Not everyone is equal. Some of them, the metabolic rate is higher, some are lower. You cannot just one-size-fits-all treat a patient with the same dose and drug. Some of the patient may be overdosing. Some of the patient may be not enough. Based on the pharmacogenomic, you can identify those patients that the metabolic rate are different. So you can titrate the drug. You can titrate the drug, give to the patient, and avoid the side effect. So based on that, we hope that the program can help to identify the high-risk patient for every specific disease they want to identify. And for those patients, they need more frequent monitoring or screening. For those with low-risk patients, they can screen the test date, they do the screening test date to save the medical resources and keep everyone healthy. So now I try to focus on lung cancer, how we use lung cancer to practice the so-called precision medicine. Lung cancer is the #1 cause of cancer mortality in Taiwan, in men and also in women. The #1 cause of cancer mortality in women is not breast cancer, not cervical cancer, it's lung cancer. And most of the patients diagnosed in late stage. Half of them diagnosed in late stage. And the National Health Insurance and medical expense next to the breast cancer, you can see lung cancer society spend quite a lot of resources to treat a lung cancer patient. Actually, lung cancer incidence in Taiwan and mortality in Taiwan is not highest in the world. It's pretty similar to the Northern Europe. The lung cancer program in Taiwan is very, very successful. The lung cancer incidence is not high. Mortality is also very low, very close to North Europe. But you look at the lung cancer, we all think that lung cancer is due to smoking. Taiwan started the anti-smoking campaign very early in 1995. At that time, the smoking rate for the male adult is about 55%. You can imagine that in adult male, half of them, they are smokers at that time. So we start anti-smoking campaign. The smoking rate is down to less than 30%. Now it's around 25, 28 something. Okay, smoking rate decrease. And in female, the smoking rate is only around 3 to 5%, remains stationary in the past 20 years. Okay, if you think that lung cancer is due to smoking, the lung cancer rate should reduce because we have anti-smoking campaign for more than 10 years. You will observe the decrease of lung cancer incidence, but actually, on the contrary, lung cancer is still going up, especially adenocarcinoma. This is very, very strange. This is the current status. Lung cancer in Taiwan, non-smoker is higher than smoker. 53% non-smoker, 47% smoker. Adenocarcinoma is very high, more than 70%. Non-smoker, 93% in female. So you look how many percentage of the lung cancer can attributable due to the smoking. See here, male, 27% can attribute to smoking, and in female, 3.8. Okay, so the smoking, the contribution of smoking to lung cancer in Taiwan is low. Well, actually, non-smoker lung cancer is very prevalent in Eastern Asia and Southeastern Asia. We all know that lung cancer due to smoking is the #1 cause of cancer mortality. Of course, it is the #1, but you look at the non-smoker, ranked #7, especially in Southeastern Asia. But this phenomenon is also observed worldwide. That means that worldwide, the non-smoker lung cancer is increasing, especially in high social demographic index area. So Taiwan belongs to the high social demographic index area. So you can see here, lung cancer, especially in women, is going up. Lung cancer in men is going down. You project the incidence of lung cancer in women, you see that actually the mortality of lung cancer in women would increase 43% worldwide by 2030s, and even greater than breast cancer. So this is a very serious situation. So we all think that maybe 2.5 contribute to the increase of lung cancer. This is some facts. Actually, PM2.5 is a very small, tiny particle. The most common disease caused by PM2.5 is not lung cancer, it's cardiovascular disease and ischemic heart disease. Because this small molecule, particle, they can penetrate into the vessel, and your fibrous cell, especially macrophage, they can uptake this kind of particle and increase inflammatory, some inflammatory response in your blood, and cause some cytokine changes, and make the patient more susceptible to ischemic heart disease and stroke. This is the PM2.5 map, a real PM2.5 map done in March 2nd this year. We all think that the PM2.5 is common in south of Taiwan. No, this is the same day. Actually, this is Saturday. Morning, 9 a.m. I think that, oh, it's good. Taipei is, the PM2.5 is very good. So I think I can go to the Daansan in Gongyan because I live there to have it, to take some exercise there. But afternoon, when I try to go out, you can see suddenly the map like this. Very serious PM2.5 in Taipei area. So that's because of the weather, the wind, the change. So PM2.5, they can stretch very quickly to the north of the, Taiwan. We think that the PM2.5 is coming from mainland China. Well, half of the PM2.5 contribute from the mainland China, but half of them actually locally produce. So the country close to the mainland China also suffer from this ambient air pollution. But some of the PM2.5 actually is locally produced. What are some evidence that the PM2.5 may be related to lung cancer? This is a study done in National Health Research Institute. You can see that no matter what kind of the smoking status, you are a smoker or never-smoker, okay, if you have higher PM2.5 exposure, they also all increase in lung cancer risk from 1.22 to 1.78. So no matter you are a smoker or never-smoker, you also, if you have higher PM2.5 exposure, the lung cancer risk is increased. But the risk is not high. It's very small, risk is not high. Okay. A study done in Taichung, they try to correlate the incidence of lung adenocarcinoma and the atmospheric visibility to indicate the PM2.5 exposure. They show some correlation that it seems that in PM2.5 exposure higher area, the population tend to have higher incidence of lung adenocarcinoma. This is a study done in Canada. Because I reported low-dose CD screening trial in 2018, the World Congress of Lung Cancer, and a professor in Canada, she reported that they study the outdoor air pollution exposure. They show that they highly significantly, highly associated with women never smoker with lung cancer. Look carefully here. Among never smoker with lung cancer with high PM2.5 exposure, 74% are female, and most of them are Asian descent. It's very interesting study, indicating that somehow this population may be more susceptible to PM2.5 exposure and lung cancer. So, lung cancer is very interesting. Lung cancer in Asian and lung cancer in Caucasian, they are different. You look at the driver gene mutation. The driver gene means that if you got a specific gene mutated, that gene is enough to drive from to transform the cell from normal to cancer. This is kind of driver gene. You stop the driver gene, the car stop. The cancer cell may die, so you can use that to treat the cancer. When you look at the Eastern Asian, you see that the most common driver mutation is actually EGFR, half of them, but in Caucasian, only 15 to 25%. The most common driver mutation Caucasian KRAS is smoking related, but KRAS mutation is not so common in our region. The most common one is the EGFR mutation, is smoking, they smoking related. So actually now we can, based on the type, histology of lung cancer, you can then test whether they have driver gene. If they have specific driver gene, then you can prescribe the drug, target therapy. And if the patient did not have driver mutation, you can test the immune marker called the PD-L1, and based on that, you can prescribe the immunotherapy for the patient. If you're interested, you can look at this review, they'll publish very soon. So this is the current practice of precision medicine. In lung cancer, every patient, we take biopsy or surgery, take the tissue out, genetic profile, try to identify whether they have driver mutation. And based on that, we prescribe the target therapy. And most of the patients, maybe after 1 year, disease progress, re-biopsy again, and try to identify whether they have another driver mutation or druggable target, and they can use the specific target therapy. In some of the patients, we can also take the tumor. We did the so-called patient-derived xenograft, use the mouse to specific kind of mouse to host it, to let the tumor cell grow there. And we can use the tumor cell to do the sequencing or do the drug sensitivity. But if you do this kind of patient-derived xenograft, it's very expensive. But if you want to implement precision medicine to benefit all the patients, you have to think of some strategy. If only the rich patient can afford this kind of precision therapy, there are some ethical concerns. So in the very early 2010, we started a national reference lab, provide the gene test for every lung cancer patient here. It's more than 50,000 now. And our national health insurance, they reimburse the drug. Within 5 working days, they can get the specific target therapy for the patient. This is the scenario. A patient come back from Australia. They actually immigrated to Australia for more than 20 years. The air is clean, no 2 PM 2.5 exposure. But because he is Taiwanese, he shared a genetic background. Okay, he developed lung cancer. Okay, he fly back to Taiwan, and we do the gene test. Within 2 weeks, you can see all the tumor disappear under control. For this kind of patient, we think that this is far advanced stage 4 disease. Usually, you expect patient can survive less than 6 months, but the patient actually survived more than 5 years. So you make a tremendous difference in care of the lung cancer patient. You can also do this, like this very extensive precision practice of the precision medicine. A cancer metastasis to liver, gene testing, use target therapy under control, relapse again, gene testing again, use the third generation target therapy, relapse again, next generation sequencing, and use another specific target therapy, and the disease under control again. So you can see how many years the patient can survive, more than 4 or 5 years, even the patient with advanced disease. So with this implementation of precision medicine, you can see here, it started about 5 or 6 years ago in 2000, this is 2009. At that time, we studied gene testing precision medicine. You can see at that time, the average 5-year survival is about 15 to 16%. This is worldwide reference, the table. But you can see the survival improve to nearly 39%. This is National Taiwan University Hospital. But you look at whole Taiwan, you can see now the 5-year survival for lung cancer is very high, 27%. This is a very significant difference. Our national health insurance also provides this kind of information. Actually, you want to see, you will have a relative or patient want to find which hospital is the best for the lung cancer treatment. You can try to look at our health promotion. They have this kind of software. You can map that. This is Taiwan average for stage 3 lung cancer patient. So each spot is every medical center. So you know which medical center they have the most high quality of care. You can see here in stage 3, we can have around 30% 5-year survival. Stage 4, this is 2017, but now it's up to 15%, even stage 4 disease. The hospital try to use this figure, this statistic, to encourage the physician in the hospital. Say, in last year, you got 5-year survival in 30%. You have to work hard. We want you to improve the quality of care. We hope the next year you can have a better, even better, higher percentage that you can cure more patients, make the patient survive longer. So I think this is very, very good information. Let every hospital try to improve themselves. Okay, then what are the challenges of lung cancer therapy in precision medicine? We all know that if you can treat lung cancer in the early stage, the 5-year survival will be better. But as I mentioned earlier, most of the patients actually diagnosed in the late stage. So the best way to make the lung cancer treatment better is early diagnosis. Try to shift the curve to the left side. Then you can improve the survival, use less cost. Most importantly, you look at natural history of lung cancer, because the cancer cell is about 10 to 20 micron. You look at what are the current diagnostic method to detect lung cancer or detect any kind of cancer. It's by CT scan or by MR imaging. What are the detection limits? Because the CT scan is interpreted by the doctor's eye. Your resolution for detecting the cancer is about 0.5 centimeter to 1 centimeter. You can imagine how many cancer cells already exist in your body. 10 to the 9 cells. If the cancer cell grows to the 10 to the 12, most of the patients die because of the tumor burden, widespread metastasis. But before the cancer grows to the 10 to the 9 cells, they are less than, say, less than 0.5 centimeter. They are not detectable. Sometimes less than 1 millimeter. You cannot detect it by current imaging modality. So before the cancer is detectable, you need biomarker for the detection. Try to identify the early stage so you can manage the patient precisely. You look at the natural history of this lung cancer. I think all kinds of cancer are the same. There's an inflection point. Above this inflection point, the chance of metastasis spread to other organs is higher. For lung cancer, it's about 2 centimeters in diameter. If tumor grows beyond 2 centimeters in diameter, the tumor tends to spread widely, and you cannot cure the patient. So in my concept, I was thinking that I would advise that most of the patient, you handle the patient less than 2 centimeters in diameter. You are able to cure the lung cancer patient. So the tumor size does matter. If you resect a tumor less than 2 centimeters, you got more than 80% of them, you are able to cure the patient. If you resect a tumor less than 1 centimeter in diameter, you have more than 95% of chance you can cure the patient. So the tumor size does matter. So low CT scan is probably the most, I think the most reliable way to identify the early lung cancer. This is a patient, 8 years, developed diagnosis. So this kind of, so we call it ground glass opacity, still can grow, but progress very slowly. And this is another patient. See here, after 10 years, then grows to a very big size and develop bone mass. This is another patient. Look at this CT scan. You cannot see the tumor. Where are the tumor? Tumor is here. Probably see somewhat this nodule here, and gradually increase in size. Takes how long? 10 years. Okay. You resect the tumor. This is adenocarcinoma. So some of the tumors grow very, very slowly. But some of the tumors develop very rapidly. This is another example. The patient actually did a CT scan for screening. And interpretation of this CT scan is normal. So probably there's a scar here. There's a scar here. This is a heart. This is somewhat like a scar here. Okay, but the doctor is very careful. So you follow up 6 months later. Okay, 6 months later, it exists. Well, it seems that did not change much. 1 year later, okay. You can see the scale here is about, say, 0.5 millimeter, 0.5 centimeter in diameter. After 1 year, here. If we did not resect the tumor, well, 8 months later, the tumor progressed, developed, spreading to the pleural cavity, and became incurable. So, how to make the decision for the clinician? It's difficult. Should I take action? Well, here or here, probably you can cure. But after 10 months, well, the patient already changed from curable to incurable. Okay, so we think that we need to have some biomarkers. So we think that because name a smoker, so what kind of biomarker? Smoking is not a risk for them. So we think that probably some genetic biomarker can be helpful, help us to identify those patients who can benefit from the low-dose CT screening and detect lung cancer's early stage, identify the high-risk population. So this is a very important gene we call YAP1 gene. This is gene is an oncogene. It's a familial lung cancer. If they have this gene, the chance of lung cancer is higher. The odds ratio is nearly up to 6. This is a family tree. You can see here, father and mother all had lung cancer. They are named a smoker. 4 daughters, they all have lung cancers. The only son, he's a smoker. He did not have lung cancer yet. This is CT scan, mother, 4 daughters. They are all named smokers, but they have these family genes. So I think that probably you can use this kind of genetic risk loci to help you to identify what kind of population they are high risk for lung cancer. Maybe they need more frequent screening. Another very important thing is now lung cancer surgeries become very, very easy now. Before the lung cancer need a big thoracotomy. Now our surgeons, they are very skillful. They can use the so-called tubeless, no tube, or unipolar, only one hole endoscopic surgery for lung cancer patient. actually all the surgery is done through this. So every patient, they can admit, like for example, admit today, tonight, and did a surgery tomorrow. If everything's okay, go home. So they can discharge the patient within 2 or 3 days. Okay, so we start, because if our cancer population, non-smoker is higher than smoker, so what can we do? So we think that we need to develop the program to screen the patient to take lung cancer in the early stage. We cannot be, just focus on the heavy smoker. All the low-dose screening trial actually focus on the heavy smoker. But since 2014, we think that we need to identify the strategy to solve our lung cancer problem. We focus on never smoker with family history and some environmental exposure and also high cooking index. And we nearly finished this low-dose CT screening trial. We tried to recruit 12,000. Now it's finished. This is the data, preliminary data. You can see that the lung cancer low-dose detection, low-dose CT screening for non-smoker, our first-round lung cancer detection rate is 2.67. If you compare it to the national lung cancer screening trial done in done in the United States, they focus on heavy smoker. The first-round lung cancer detection rate is 1.03. So our screening strategy is even more efficient than the low-dose CT screening trial done in the state focused on the heavy smoker. See, here, 95% stage 1. That means that 95% of them, through the screening, they are able to potentially curable. So we also do the SNPs. We think that we need to develop a prediction score based on the family history, genetic susceptibility, and environmental factors. We come up with this risk score prediction based on the environmental factor exposure, family history, and how many SNPs they have. And based on that, we can develop a risk score. Those patients with high risk score, the risk for lung cancer is higher. Maybe after finish this trial, we can propose to the government or propose to the National Health Insurance that you can probably, you want to screen the lung cancer patient, never smoker, probably you can use this risk score. Those patients with family history and high risk score, if you want to screen this population, maybe they deserve low-dose CT screening. So, based on the experience in, I used lung cancer as example, we are able to practice precision medicine, improve the outcome. But I personally feel that the current way we cannot cure lung cancer. The best way would be identify high-risk population. Identify high-risk population. Try to screen as early as possible. Detect lung cancer before they are incurable. Then, by this way, you can cure lung cancer. So I think currently the precision health, the prevention and health promotion is even more important than the precision management or early diagnosis. And you can also use a lot of wearable, digital wearable device to help you to promote to do the health promotion. So I think now is the new era of precision medicine, and we need to embrace the precision healthcare. The era of precision healthcare is coming. It's arrived now. We cannot like these three monkey. 不看不听排斥我们很怕医师一直觉得这个不可能这是可能的 So you have to embrace the new era. The new era of precision health is already arrived. Thank you for your attention.
We have 5 minutes. We'll open the question. So anyone can ask questions.
校长好，我想请教，就是所以如果对于这种所谓的精准医疗、预防医疗的话，那您对那个所谓的安吉丽娜·裘丽她切除乳房、切除卵巢，就是为了预防这个癌症，对这样的行为是鼓励的吗？
其实这个是很多可以 debate 的地方，也是这几天我们也许同学有机会可以讨论这个问题。它是有 BRCA1 的基因的突变。The BRCA1 gene is highly associated with breast cancer, but not 100%. Okay, so it's debatable. She may have higher chance for developing breast cancer, but through the early detection, you can detect the early stage, the breast cancer in the early stage. You can just resect them. No need totally to take the breast out. So, well, I think some philosophy inside, so debatable, and all this kind of gene assessment is just give you a risk, the chance of developing the disease. But all the diseases are maybe modifiable. Through the lifestyle, through the early screening, through all kinds of the prevention, you are able to delay the occurrence of this disease, and if not preventable, you can detect the disease in early stage before it's incurable.
Thank you for this well summarized for precision medicine. So obviously in the U.S., the smoking for lung cancer, as you pointed out, ROS is the driver gene. But somehow in Asia, that especially those non-smoking women, that the chance to develop EGFR receptor mutation is very high. And I believe this is probably I don't know, I'm asking, nothing to do with the PM2.5, right?
Yes.
Because PM2.5 just occurred recently. However, those EGFR receptor mutation in the non-smoking people exist in Asia. So somehow there's some genetic difference between Asia and Caucasian, and so that make it EGFR receptor mutation easier to be mutated.
Yeah.
And so we still don't know what causes EGFR receptor mutation yet.
Yeah, this is what we are trying to solve in the Cancer Moonshot program. I did not put the data here because that data, they are going to submit the data to the journal very soon. That Cancer Moonshot program collaborate with the NIH, and they focus on early lung cancer, early adenocarcinoma, just try to address the problem. Why so many non-smoker lung cancer here? Why so many lung cancer with EGFR mutation here? It's different from the Caucasian. Interestingly, I personally believe we have some genetic susceptibility. The EGFR gene is located chromosome 7p. In that area, probably the Eastern Asian population is more vulnerable to some damage. Some environmental factor also contribute to this damage. You know, we did a study, and that study tried to map the environmental carcinogen, because each individual environmental carcinogen, they stimulate cell, they will create a specific pattern of mutation, especially in embryonic stem cell. If you treat the specific carcinogen, environment carcinogen, they will develop specific signature. And you try to map what kind of signature present in our lung cancer non-smoker. Well, there are two sets. One set of the carcinogens is similar with Caucasian. All the carcinogen cause lung cancer in Caucasian, we all have. But additional two carcinogen is unique to this region. One is from inhalation, one is through food, one carcinogen in the food, one in the ambient air pollution. And these two carcinogens, the signature is enriched in chromosome 7p. So we are very surprised to find that somewhat the carcinogen in this region is that hit the chromosome 7p are common and is common in this region.
Okay, even with that, we only know the difference. We still don't know why.
Yes, this is why I try to explain why. Yeah.
All right. I was told that we still have a lot of program.
Yes.
After this, and Dr. Yang is trying to catch high-speed train back to Taipei.
It's
okay. All right. So.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that there will be a lot of questions for this very interesting and challenging lecture. So we just call it off here, and you can discuss with Dr. Yang. And we are going to take a picture, group picture, together. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Yang.
Okay, thank you.